What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today I have something really cool for you because Avatar went ahead and made a leaderboard of the top 300 players in Ravaged realm. And as you know, that didn't exist in game. We could look at it, but it's actually now gone. That didn't exist in game. It was only the district one, but he put like all of the districts or all of them which were possible together and created like this global leaderboard with all the top scoring people in there. We're going to check it out today. There's a whole analysis with it with a ton of interesting info, and I want to show you guys all of that and hope, well, that I somehow made it on the leaderboard, maybe to the top positions. I was placed 2 in my district after all. Gave me this wonderful cosmetic set where I have to say, honestly, even the male cosmetics this time look pretty cool. Really look pretty cool. I don't know what you guys think about it. I think this is a pretty sweet cosmetic set they released this time, and honestly can't wait for the next one because definitely looks cooler than Season 1. Definitely looks cooler than Season 1. Love the back piece. Pretty sweet. So, but it's not about the cosmetics this time. Let's hop into Avatar's analysis and Avatar's leaderboard. So this is of course posted on the Analytica Discord, and I will link it down to you in the description. When you see this video, he will already have posted it there. It's now still like a preview version that I'm allowed to look at and make a video about, so that is pretty cool. And what he did there was basically he made this survey with a ton of questions for the people. Many filled it out, and now he made some graphics for it, not only the leaderboard but also some other things that you could see for these top players, so you get a bit of an idea of which kind of player in general is at the top. So he made like the top points for spending for the top, or the top points that make somebody a player at the top there. Spending, use of unconventional heroes, tenacity and skill, he says. I in general agree. I reckon though, I mean, we had such top information on the Analytica Discord with all the top lineups that I think even if you don't really have a lot of skill or like use insanely unconventional heroes, spending a lot and being able to go to the Discord or watching one of my videos and just using the lineups with a little bit of luck and, well, tenacity really, not only in the grind for Durastral charms, but also in the grind of those attacks, because you did like 10-20 attacks every single day and you had to set up the team for it, and the team changed 5, 6, 7 times, so you had to stay at it and take a look at what the best teams really were and work a little bit for it. I think then you could really be far at the top. So I think that worked out. And from my personal experience, like when I reached place 2 at the end, it felt like during the time it got less and less competitive. Like it was less difficult to reach like top spots. And it felt like people just said, okay, I got like one lineup and maybe changed it another time, and now I got like my place 6, my place 8, my place 9. As long as it's still top 20, I don't really care. It felt a little bit like that. And while I was then going up in the ranks and at the end reached place 1 on like I think the Graveborn Ravaged Realm squad, and place 2 on the others, yeah, the other people like stayed a little bit behind and didn't keep up with the information. I think that is also a big part in it. But of course he's right, he says grinding Durastrals, and yeah, you needed those charms. I lacked a lot of charms. I really lacked a lot of charms, and this is definitely something that is very important. He then made multiple analysis, and here we have the health of the district. We already made a video about it. And the video was generally reflects that like the first districts are still all very healthy. We have on my district, which is 33, we're still in the light green 450 to 499 players, but I have to say my district feels incredibly healthy. But as I said, I noticed that some people I slacked a little bit off during the time. But we have, of course, vast differences between the different districts, like District 1 and stuff, all like being green with over 500 players attacking the boss. And then we have some red ones like District 164. And this is in general, by the way, and I can take a little bit of I take a look back at the video I made about server health, about player numbers, about dying servers was the title and the thumbnail. A lot of players really mentioned to me that their server just feels dead. There's just nothing happening anymore. And I think that will be a topic that I hope they address in Season 3 now with the allied server mechanic. But we'll have to take a look at it. It also reflects in the same way now for the Ravaged Realm text. Then the next one. Relationship between total base power, TBP versus damage in Ravaged Realm. And yeah, pretty much the more power, the more damage, but with a little bit of variation between the players. So let's say, for example, we have like, let's take a look at like, maybe we take a look at like 57.5 thousand. We have one guy here with very, very low damage, around 465 billion. And with the same amount of power, if we just go up here, we nearly get to 500 billion. So what is the reason for this, that there can be such a big difference between the players? Well, we already said one thing. We talked about how players had to keep at it, had to look for the optimal team, had to spend some time on it. And many players don't have that time, of course. But yeah, so that was one aspect to it. The other one is, of course, when we take a look into the game, that you needed specific heroes. And some of those heroes that were like main damage dealers were not too common. For example, if you didn't have Lenya, not Layla, Layla was from with the twins, Lenya, for the Wilder one, then, well, you didn't really do too well in terms of damage. If you didn't have Harak for Graveborn, I think it was, well, that was also a problem. Or it was like Seth for the Mauler one. And such heroes that are not super common, really. Like, not super difficult to get. In terms of Lenya, of course, well, yeah, if you didn't summon for her, probably by this season you wouldn't necessarily have gotten her from wishlist. So, bit of a thing. Seth, of course, fairly easy to get. But if you don't have a hero like this, this will vastly destroy your damage. And it was the same for Lightbearer. Where Sinbad was also pretty important. And those are fairly new heroes, and if those end up being like in the Ravaged Realm and you don't own this specific hero, you might still have a great account outside of that, because you just didn't go for that rate up doesn't mean your account is bad at all. You might still have P3 heroes, it's still possible, and you might just have not gone for Sinbad. And at that case, I have to say, well, that can really, really decrease your damage. So it's not always a thing of player skill necessarily, but sometimes it's just that one missing hero that really kicks you in the back. And thus we find in general a pretty broad spread between the players of these certain power. So while the total correlation, like as the line in there, the higher the power, the more damage, is in general true, the variance in between the players of a certain power level can be quite big, and there are, of course, reasons for this spread between the players. And yeah, so interesting to see how big the gaps really are. I kind of forgot to check out where I am here. So I would be about here, I guess. 58 million is currently my power. And I did about 495, so somewhere around here would be where I am, which is a bit crazy. It's like set in the middle, and I mean it's the top 300 people. It's not the bottom 300 people, of course. Otherwise, this would have to be structured very differently. But I'm about here, you could say. Then we have the relationship between AFK stages completed versus damage in Ravaged Realms. And you might have seen that I kind of had these stages on autocomplete. Reason for that is that this graph made me a little bit sad. Because he starts at 3,300. When I did my damage in Ravaged Realm, I was at 3,260. So, well, we already disclosed that I was like at 495 billion. So I would be at 495 billion, but about here. My point would be right here. Below the graph even. He would have to make the graph bigger to show my point. Which is a little bit crazy. So yeah, I noticed I was a little bit underperforming in terms of AFK stages. So the higher players here, around 4,200. Check this out, 4,250 there. Wow, ton of stages, like 1,000 stages more than I did. But I just in the middle of the season, I was like, oh, I don't really care. I don't really care. But you can see that players that do well in or do a ton of damage in Ravaged Realm also tend to often have very high stage clears, like over 4,000. So many people over 4,000 is truly crazy. So that is pretty insane. Then we of course have the relationship between heroes' average season resonance level versus damage in Ravaged Realm. There is no direct correlation of this because your level is capped in Ravaged Realm. The only thing that we have here, of course, is we have active players that push a lot and thus achieve higher average seasonal resonance level. But if your heroes are 1500 or 2500, would make no difference for Ravaged Realm, as your level would be kept either way. So we can kind of take a look at this. But you can do high damage without having a high seasonal resonance level. It's mostly about owning the heroes and having a lot of stars on them, having the charms, and upgrading the correct charms using the right teams. That is really the thing. Average seasonal resonance level was the seasonal AFK stages completed. So the more seasonal AFK stages completed, the more resources you earn, of course, the higher your seasonal resonance level will be. Exception, of course, if you are lazy like me and then tend to have like 2, 3, 4 weeks in which you don't push at all, or just click the button and do a little bit of auto progress, you tend to miss a lot of resources, which absolutely doesn't matter in the end game in this game. It's like completely irrelevant. At the start it's relevant, for the Primordial Lords it's relevant, then it becomes completely irrelevant. But players like me have lower seasonal resonance level. So right now I'm at 1540, for example, which is comparatively low and kind of shows that I didn't really push too much, and that is a little bit lazy. So again, I was at 3260 and I was at even lower resonance level than, so the time when this was, let's say I was like 20 lower, I was like about here and here, so my point would be here, which is, yeah. AFK stages and resonance level are not really the factors that we should use to check out my account. So now we come to the really interesting part. Who were the top players in Ravaged Realm? Who were they? The top players in Ravaged Realm, top 3. Let's check them out. And there we go. Number 1, Hearty from server 31, unrivaled overlord of the Ravaged Realm. Actually, fun fact, my vice leader K-Reef of my clan always hoped that our servers get allied with Hearty and that he can poach him. Even before this already. I guess this will make him just even more adamant to poach this guy and to somehow convince the support to ally our servers if that happens. Then on place 2, Tom from server 34, Emporium Guild, and then on place 3, Faker G1 server and from the guild Legend. Pretty cool. Hearty, the only one at 514 billion. Absolutely mental. 20 billion more than me. Is absolutely crazy. So those are top scores in every single one. Definitely fancy. He has a super strong account. I actually talked to him today as well. Super strong account, definitely. And 513, look at that. So close to the 514 actually. 513.97. Crazy scores. Definitely insane. So that's like the top 3, and then we also put like the top grinders together. So we have a top grinder list. This is a list you don't have to search for my name. You don't have to search for my name here. Top grinder from the people that the survey was carried out. So top players in the survey was Ans from the guild Nocturne, and 4,246 AFK stages completed and a 0 seasonal resonance level of 1,740, so 200 levels ahead of me, and 4,246 AFK stages completed. And if you wonder about that, what this is worth in terms of loot, so this guy is 200 resonance level ahead of me and a ton of stages. The AFK stages are actually completely irrelevant, doesn't matter on which AFK stage you are. The only thing that matters is your seasonal resonance level. He is 200 levels ahead of me, and the rule for season resonance level in terms of conversion to points is it's 5 points per season resonance level above 800, so it will be for the 200 levels times 5, 1000 points. And according to the rules right here, he gets 1 diamond for every 3 points and 1 Twilight Essence for every 150 points. So for the extra work, he will get 6 Twilight Essence and 333 diamonds. That will be the full loot that will be added to it. Of course, I mean, in comparison to the total amount right here, that's a lot. But I bet that also took some time. But I guess place 1 on this list, pretty cool. Also the highest seasonal resonance level, by the way, from this list, which kind of means probably that he really pushed for it. Like, really pushed for it. Was super active and probably got the highest loot at all possible points, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So, nobody else that I know from this list, at least, but a pretty cool list. Top guilds, don't want to get into that because those were just the ones that submitted during the survey, so there are a lot of people missing from that. I'm still hoping that Lilith Games goes ahead next time and just puts something like this in game, because I would like to compare it to like global leaderboard. That would be cool. And with that, we can go into the last phase, which is of course the entire 300 people leaderboard, and hopefully finding me somewhere there. We have to take a look. First one, Hearty, of course, right here, Unraveled Guild. He got, oh, we have these scores here, that's cool, I didn't see that. Aurora at 139, look at that, that was even some improvement possible. We got 140s here, 2 times 140, crazy. And then we have 124 on Sylvian. We got Dauntless 129 and Immortal 129. I think I got 117 on Immortal and I was very happy about that. Total damage 514, look at that. The entire first one is all above 500. And then nearly all at least 510. Crazy. 1710 was his seasonal resonance level, and he was at AFK stage 4110. So that is also some pretty massive success right there. By the way, if you wonder why they are like 511 and 000, those are people that didn't submit like their real score. And if you look at the list, you actually only see like 511 billion. And you can't really determine the stats afterwards that easily, so that is a thing. Let's go and kind of try to find me. On the second list, and by the way, if you're wondering about the numbers, he compared the score the people achieved to the power they have. And then like the colors match that. If your performance is very good compared to your power, you're more green. If your performance is very bad, you're a little bit more red. So that is like the thing. We are not on this list so far. Also not anybody from my server. Let's take a look. 504, we're still above 500 in the top 60. Is that crazy? Still above 500. There is in season. In season, I defeated yesterday in my video, if you want to watch that. That was pretty funny. That was on the test server though. We have Arsimon here. Arsimon sent me teams multiple times, and I talked with Arsimon about the things. We have Exu Harbinger made a video about Relentless Rumble. That I remember. That was pretty cool. He found, oh, which one was it? The Cassidy team, I think, with the Talene. That was a pretty cool team, I have to say. Actube is there, pretty nice. A lot of people I know from this list, so that is pretty fancy. Then we are in the top 100. The top 100, all above 500 billion. Crazy. Absolutely mental. Take a look at that. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, we have all these servers in here. We have S servers, we have G servers, CS, we have all PTR still in here. So those are not like your regular global servers only, but all these servers in there. And there we have over 500 billion. Crazy. Still for most of it. There it ends, 113, and then the rest of the people start. The rest is all just 500 billion plus. Mental. I mean, on my server with 495, you have to imagine, I was placed too. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. There we have red people starting. Wonder if I'm red. I mean, like, what does it really mean? Doesn't really mean too much. As we said, like, you can have super strong heroes, but you just lack that one key hero, and then you would be red on this list because your power was super high. It doesn't necessarily make a connection with skill. This guy's guild name is Only Füße. That translates to only feet. Okay. I don't shame him. Alright. Let's talk about something else. That just was a little bit unexpected. Okay, 496. I mean, at some point I'm going to be there, but I was like lower end 495. Lower end 495. Defunk there. And there I am! S33! Omega Project! Man, the endgame should have pushed as well. Should have been so lazy. Was super lazy, got like place 9. Dude could have been like place top 100 on this list probably. And there you can see it's 3,260 at 1,520 season resonance level. Yeah, so a little bit lower than the other people here. Madness, madness, madness. Do we find somebody else for my guild? Like, look at that. That is pretty cool. Like, just super green in there. Pretty crazy. Oh, we didn't really look at my scores, didn't we? Can still do that. Yeah, like 117 in Immortal. I remembered correctly. 123, 119, 134. Yeah. Super green one. 124 there. Yeah, I mean, like, if you just have the right heroes, that can really, really help. Let's continue. What else do we have? I think there is at least one more guy from Omega Project from my guild in here. At least one more guy. Let's continue. Nobody here. For 90 now. And we got a lot of other people from Ascendancy as well for 89. Like, we're not going down the damage numbers swiftly, I have to say. It is pretty high numbers all the way. That's pretty crazy. Got Valhalla Immortals, free to play. I doubt that. Now we know in the red numbers. 484. Nobody from my guild yet. Let's see. Damn, like it is getting more red. So my assumption that there might be some high power people that just didn't really put too much effort in it might be true. We will see. And now we're already on the second to last list. Seems like I'm alone from my guild on this list, but that can't be. That can't be. Ha! Okay, maybe I missed somebody. Doesn't matter, those were the people, and this is also everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Tell me if you are on this list and which placement you got. That is something I would really care about. Support Avatar in his future surveys. He always does a great job at this stuff. It's always super interesting. This time around, I was surprised by how many strong people there are. Like, I like just the first leaderboard itself, so crazy. With like nearly everybody about 510. I didn't even think that was possible. So definitely had me surprised on this one. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And other than that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.